It's welcome to Live with Dara. Welcome on this Saturday night, Saturday, May 29. I'm really happy that you're here with me tonight as we discuss the issue of transgender in Jamaica. Yeah. So, Live with Dara, we connect lifestyle issues with products and services, but we also aim to educate persons. And how this topic came about, I recently partnered with JFlag, Equality Jamaica, to do a live about a particular day, International Day against I don't remember what it is, against homophobia, transphobia, biphobia, not in that order. And the feedback that I got from doing that was, people were, I thought, persons would be like, Dara, where are you? But I realized people really want to hear information. People want to know things. And I'm like, why not? Because if we can't talk about man and woman business and relationship business all the time and all kind of different issues, why can't we talk about an issue that people don't talk about? This is what we are here to do. Remember now, this is a non-judgmental zone. No, we're not in the foolishness tonight, so no bother with the foolishness. We're going to listen, we're going to ask questions, and we get a better understanding, because knowledge is key. When you don't know, enough of we do is like when we don't know, we ignore it or we leave it out. But let's know, let's learn something new tonight, and let's see. I am not telling you, this live is not telling you or encouraging anybody to, to whatever, like, okay, telling you, listen, you can go and be a transgender person, you can go and be X, Y, or Z. It's more about education. And let me tell you another reason why I did it. I remember when I was leaving UA, and I had to do my internship. And I did marketing, social marketing. So it's about behavior change. And I had to do my internship. And I did my internship at Jamaica Aid Support. And I tell you, when I did it there, I remember the first time I went into the office, I said, Lord God, I'm going to go around some people and them have AIDS. And if I touch them, I'm going to catch AIDS. And if I do this, I'm going to catch AIDS. And I drink one water from them. So I went up there the first day. And I remember when I went into the office, is I barely catch on the seat. And when I eat the day, and then it's like, you don't want to touch nobody, you don't want to do nothing like that, and you wash. And then I remember going home, and me take off the clothes as me reach inside of the house, and it's like, and then, like the next day, I said, what we you do this for? What you do this for, Dara? Let's say you had AIDS, right? Or let's say a family member of yours had AIDS or something like that. Would you want people to treat them like that? No, you don't want nobody to treat you like that. So you see, when you don't understand, so I used that. When I had that conversation with myself, I decided to, let me understand more, because these are people like you and I. They're just, we have made a particular lifestyle choice. They have made one, and it's just for us not to judge, but to understand. Yes. So there ended my speech. I wanted to get into the meat of the matter tonight, because I have some ladies coming on, trans females, I may say. Now, trans females, I have Renee Green. Renee Green is the executive director of Transwave, and Renee is going to tell us more, explain, because as I was having the conversation with Renee, and I saying, Renee, listen, tonight you might hear me say some words where the trans community may find offensive. And when I do, hopefully I don't, fingers crossed, but they'll tell us some of the things. Like when you call somebody coolie, not everybody appreciate the fact that you call them coolie, Indian or whatever, right? Just like how black people, don't like when you call them nigger. So in each community, there are things, there are sayings that they don't appreciate. And tonight we'll try to put out some of those. I remember one of the persons responding to the question said, tranny. And somebody messaged me to say, Dara, that's not something that's acceptable in the community, So those are some of the things. So Renee will tell us about, the cisgender, the transgender, the agender, all of those things. But before Renee, I have two other beautiful ladies coming on. Paris Lewinsky and Kim Savage. And I just wanted to get an idea of what life is like for these two individuals in Jamaica. They are trans persons, Yeah, I getting it right. Trans person. I just want to know what life is like. So let's listen to them and we'll hear what they have to say. Remember now, non-judgmental zone. So we're not in the foolishness tonight. We're just here to learn. All right. So may I use my tablet for the first? Oh, okay. Dara, you say you don't understand things. Renee, let me put you on after. Renee, I soon add you. Let me just Paris first. And then we go into the rest of it. Let me see. I'm gonna make sure I dress up tonight, you know, because I said Paris. No, Kim. No, Kim. I'm Paris. I'm not going like so no one outdo me tonight. Let me see where I'm going. Paris, come over, let me see you because me say you now. Oh, what's wrong, Kim? Let me see if I forgot change. Kim, wait, y'all have a teeth goods.
It's just a nighttime sip, Dara. Good night, everybody. Hi, Paris. Hi, Dara.
Hi, Kim.
Hi. Paris, let me see. Paris, wait there. Let me see your outfit because we said Dara.
I'm not drink to my outfit.
None of them come harder than you. You know. No.
I'm a regular marina drink. I'm not dress.
So wait there. So Paris, what is that you're wearing?
But it's having a regular marina.
Is it a marina? And Kim, what are you wearing?
It's just a romper. It's a coastal. It's just...
Yes, good.
There's something for me to frolic in this household because you know it's curfew. I have my Bluetooth speaker on, my ring light, just to give myself that home vibe to feel safe and have fun while I'm, you know, on lockdown.
Yeah, me tell you, listen, this is how we do the lockdown thing. We're actually waiting in the year because I'm under lockdown too, but you see me, I feel like, look, like, you know, I put on lashes and all, you know, lashes and everything like that. Come and say, look here. When we look on your picture, they said, no, Kim, you'll come for outdo me tonight. I mean,
just on the moisturizer with SPF, of course. You know.
No, but look at Paris. Paris is glowing.
You know the rules.
So what's up, ladies? How are you all?
Honestly, I'm fine. I'm hanging out. Once I'm through with this live, I'm going back to music and I'm going back to, you know, just enjoying my night. But also happy to stop by and catch up with the girls. And I'm just happy to be here also. Thank you for having me.
I'm so happy that you came. We have Renee. Renee is waiting in the wings, but I wanted to talk to you first, and then Renee will come on and just give the overview as to everything, right? So Paris, what are you doing tonight? I'm gonna see you drink nothing.
Girl, I'm just chilling, vibing. Was listening to music earlier and I just stopped it for the live.
Okay, all right, good. So let me go in and quick video now because we need to. Let me tell you something now. Tonight, no pause bar. We're asking everything. Everything. Don't look so worried. Don't look so worried, Paris. Don't look so worried. Because here's the thing about it. Remember, you're not worried. Because you know it already. I mean, if me say use a firecracker, you just talk it as it is. And then Kim me say you worse than Paris. So me say, love, God, watch them tonight. Anyway, so the first question I want to ask you. Explain to me, you are a transgender female, right, Kim?
Woman.
Sorry, you noticed me say it at the start? A transgender woman. Explain what that is for me. Explain what that is.
Yeah, so like you would say, if it's a female, that's usually the term associated with sex, and that's usually the assignment at birth. But when you're exploring gender, you talk about man and woman. And for particularly with me and Paris, we're transgender women because when we were born, we were assigned male at birth, and now we identify and we're transitioning into becoming the best woman that we can be. And just to really live up to the truest form of how we really identify. And And that's what it really means to be, you know, transgender, just to really identify other than how you were really assigned at birth.
Oh, Kim, but I'm hearing you clearly, but somebody's asking if you can speak a little louder.
I mean, if I shut the whole roof, not the whole community, I hear my business, I know, because they are trying to shout.
No, not do it. Elton, please turn up your phone. Don't bother make Kim have to shout.
Hearing me better now.
So Paris,
Yeah.
what one now?
Well, my dear,
Mm-hmm.
I'm here for the question.
Yeah, here, girl, I'm here to ask the question. The first thing I want to know from you two. So you know, growing up, they normally get like girls like the dolls and boys the truck and the car. What was it like for you growing up? Let me start with you first, Paris.
Are you guys hearing me?
Yeah, man, but I'm hearing you.
Life for me growing up was a bit rough and everything, but actually overcome it because I'm just always femme. I always love dolls. If I'm playing like dolly dolls, I have to be the mother first, and I have a child. Yes. And it was a bit rough though because every time I go to school, like primary school, is a new set of dolly. And when I start one of twins dolly, I talk about the Bratz dolly and Barbs and so you understand? You know, like every femme girls have to be a doll. And you know, I'm a doll myself. So it was a really rough. And like I remember one Christmas I got my grandmother's house in Whole Harbor. And my cousin go grand market and my father was like, why should I buy two dolly? So everybody was like, because one of them are for Paris. So one piece of sugar in the house and seeing that create and laughing. Just always love my doll name.
What about you? What about you, Kim?
You know, it's pretty much the same experience. You buy the dolly them when they can get the chance. You just put their mother clothes. You behave like you're the real dolly mother. You play dolly house with them. You act like you're a real child. You comb the ear in every style. You can't think about the teeth plastic. You cut the sheet them and make dolly clothes the baby pain because you know you have to change the clothes. My love, you carry the one clothes to come in all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same experience. And yeah, me see for mother money to buy dolly. I just say it used to work because
Hold on. Me hear somebody. Who that? Are you Paris? And are you in there?
Yeah.
Oh God! All right. Me see ya look. So you come like say you really can. So let's try work through it. All right. So when did you realize that the sex, is it the sex assigned to you is not the one that you associate with? When would you say you realize all of this?
in my adult stage, because growing up I did girly, I did guani, I did feminist, all the things them. And I always thought I was just like a man because that's what I knew. I just know between Batman and you're just that girl that is a man all the time. But like around the age of 22, 23, I linked up with Transwave and then I started getting information about why I act the way I act, why I truly believe the things I should say about myself and how I perceive myself. And with knowledge, I really discovered how I really identified. But that was around 4 or 5 years ago.
Okay. Was it the same for you, Paris? Was it the same for you in terms of when did you realize that the gender? Wait, who are going with Kim?
No, I'm sorry, my phone is saying sorry.
Basically, it's a bit kind of different because, as I said before, I was always thin. And like, me just always fame, I'm always go limelight, I'm a little skirt, and something coming from school, because my pastor is up was a Marty. And me at the road see me, I go to school, I'm a teenager, you know, you're 16, 17, 18, and you grew up, Opportunity was a spot, limelight was a spot where every school has one arbitrary and detention, right up a Constantine Road, right there. So this was a spot for me. So like from them time, them I dress up a long time. A long time I dress.
Teenage years. From teenage years, Paris.
Yeah, from teenage.
All
I'm always
right.
up with them little things there.
So you know, some people say, a lot of people think that being gay or being transgender is a learned behavior. You know, something you decide that you want to do. Is that the case for you both?
No, it's actually not a behavior. It's an entire identity. I'm just speaking loudly as I can and just like amplifying the fact that I wish that I wasn't born and was assigned male. And now I think as if even the issues I face with family and friends, a lot of conversation I have it's like I'm deceiving them growing up and having to identify differently, even though I've always felt like a woman and behave like a woman. It would have been more satisfactory for many people if I just stayed, you know, like be extremely girly but still identify as man and wouldn't go to the extreme. So as they would say, to transition, you know, it's an extreme for them. But for me, it's like I'm just affirming myself, and that's what really it is for me. But it's not a behavior. It's really becoming. It's me training myself to become who I always thought I should have been in the first place.
What about you, Paris?
Repeat the question, please.
Yeah, I'm saying a lot of people say, if you are gay or if you're a trans person, it's a learned behavior. It's something you're breaking yourself into being. Right? Is that the case? Do you agree with that?
No, I don't agree. Reason being because there are different persons in life, different persons of all walks of life, from the cultural diversity lifestyle. So you have the straight, you have the gay, you have the bisexual, and you have the trans, which is me and Kim. So I would say it's just our lifestyle. We always behave feminine from birth, so it's not that someone who just adapt because the girl you want to be a woman. As someone like born with, it's like a gift from God. So yeah, it's a gift from God.
So for you, Paris, you say you started to dress, you started to wear your skirt, etc. when you were a teenager. How did you guys come out? I mean, like to family and friends. How did you come out?
Well, so for me, I was never in. I just didn't always identify as trans. But coming out as trans was through a social media post for me. And then I started getting questions. And then I pretty much used my involvement in the advocacy space with Trans Waves to kind of do like a mass education of who I really am through advocacy. And that's kind of how I kind of just ease myself into fully identifying as a woman and then sharing that with the world. Was
really so you say it was a social media post. What was that social media post about?
It was really, you know, I was going to an event, and so I just really went all full glammed, and I just fully went in a fully affirmed appearance, you know. I get my Nesco lace wig and my face well beat and my Nesco clothes and so on. And then I had really made a caption around identifying and that I wanted my pronouns to be referred to now as she, her.
Okay.
And that's what I really put in context of the caption. And that was what the photo was for, like, the content.
Yeah. Paris, what about you? I mean, I don't know the terminology to use. So I'm using the. If you can help me as I go along and ask the question.
Yes, darling. That's why we're all here, of course.
Yeah. So Paris, how did the world know that you want to be known as a trans person?
Well, as I said before, I just always spam, always dressing up. I once was exposed in my community by my cousin. The police actually exposed me, and my cousin helped bring me down and create scene for me. Moved by my father to like I guess my coming out was from there, even though I did a video for J Flag that when the first Rainbow Railroad House, did a bit of a J Flag. So I was talking about me being trans and stuff. And my mother see it, and my mother was like, why you come out to the world? You don't come out to me. Someone say, our mother always know her child. Like, from ever since someone always love me. Girly stuff. Them think my girl type. So it's like coming out from me was like back then, way back when. Way back then, not just way back when. So I was always out.
Okay. What was it like? Because Paris, you talk about your mom and your mom saying why you didn't come out and talk to her. What was it like for your family when they heard about this and your friend? What was the reaction from them?
Well, for some family was like, oh, put her out and something. You know, my mother not she love. Once you know my mother loved me, I am good. She loved me, I'm still at her house and everything. And my station for about nothing. Only thing I got here, mean female clothes. Mean female clothes. Nothing more. In her ear said I'm gonna come pick me up, I'm gonna drop me off. It's all about mean female clothes. So like some family talk to me, some don't. Like my father, he never really talk to me. I don't care. I'm just being me. If we have the opportunity to, in my transition from when me just find myself, I would have started my process. But because like we've been exposed to the opportunity late, so I'm like 2 years on hormone, and I'm loving it.
So the only person, so you say you have a few family members who don't talk to you, included in that is your dad, but for the most part, you're getting the support from your family.
Yeah, I do.
What about you, Kim?
Same. Coming out, it's like my mother and my father who chose me. They just like had to like make decisions to keep choosing me regardless of what other family members were saying, because everyone really wasn't agreeing with me identifying how I was identifying. And then when I came out as trans, as I was mentioning earlier, that photo like sparked many conversations in my family, amongst my family members, that, you know, I'm disrespectful, I'm too loud, I'm at a thing to a different level, I'm going like a foreign me live, and all the works and the works and the works and blah 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 ratata. And it like for a moment, like, you know, it kind of displaced my family, like my mother, who was choosing me for some time with her family, because then, you know, she packed us up and then she moved out of her of her family's house, and we started living, you know, on our own. My father, her, you know, myself, my brother, and she just kept choosing me, and she really stood by me. And yeah, that's really an experience. But other family members have shunned me and they have left. I don't hear from them. I don't need to hear from them either. But I'm grateful that my parents did choose me, which is not the story for many folks in our community.
You know, did you experience violence in any way at all?
Yeah. Yeah, man come to beat me off.
Yes.
Yes. And not just that, like generally, a couple years ago in 2016, I was coming from a soca party and I was mobbed in New Kingston. I was beaten and it was a whole mess, and constantly going out. I'm just having to have these negative encounters all the time because, you know, people get really, really personal, and they, you know, they invade my personal space, and they come and they try to attack me. I'm not like, I love back up my pepper spray, my knife, and my things I love, because before this band, I love my LiveWithDara. And so anybody for a road down Gibraltar Road, all over for a road down them, I love, because I'm not stuff nobody lick. And so, but also when I come home, it gets heavy because I also constantly have to deal with that. And constantly have to know, say, this situation almost cost me my life. I'm tired for live the way there. And many times I have thoughts to just run, because I just generally just can't bother no more. Because I get them alone, I can't bother with those beating like certain ends.
So that was the only time, right? When you said when they tried to.
A couple years ago as well, in my community in Spanish Town, I was with my friends at a house where I used to live, and the men in the community were like, we can't stay here. And before we know it, all them outside with cutlass and fork and pickaxe and all the things that we can't think about farmers can have. I'm gonna run out through the back, but I'm running the taxi stand. The first taxi was send me in Panama. I'm gonna come out for the wrong stop and take one different taxi, come for one different stop until I reach I told my love because they're not gonna trap me and take my life me there because they have many things to live for. But it really is a life of constantly being targeted for violence, and we're just afraid so one day it really will happen. I'm not gonna get for true. But that's on that, and that's really how I've been living.
What about you, Pies?
Well, I have lots of history, lots of history. Like at school, like me and my friend, my big girl me walk with, big girl not walk with. So like people come at me at school, I never lose no fight at school. Me and the boy them and the girl them fight. Now my community now. Like when they might come from a party of a warehouse, you know, warehouse the girl them kill themselves, head top and all these things. Go home in the morning tired. Face will beat to the God same way. And so the bottom I play football and see me at home, start create scene with stone. So like when the stone pass my face, I'm gonna say me no run face stroke, you know. So like me and girl ever pick up my back them when spoke our road. Right now I have back with family right now. I have 3, 4, 10 back up. So I'm rushing on me yard, don't take my crate back home. Me and them playing stone, me and them me a fight and a be excitement and that's a fight and a thing and I go on myself. Yeah. And I be a police report my have. They know not about it. I'm still there in the community. Like I'm stand up for myself. Understand? Because I'm stand up for myself, them can't try it again.
So, as a trans person in Jamaica, you're saying you know you always have to be looking up at somebody approaching with some kind of violent some violence.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean that's just generally that. Paris have the same experience as well because we're normally together too, and that's one of the things. So Paris and I, we hang out the same places, we go to the same parties, we work the same place, we share the same spaces. That's just generally it. There are even on the comments them right now, my love the people are so mustard and all the things them, and it's just everywhere, and that's just how it is, and I'm just naming it. I mean, I'm not bothered by it because after this live, I do go back to my shots of tequila and my music in the comfort of my own home. But it's
You know, Kim. Let me just say that. Let me tell you something. You see knowledge is key, and you see when people don't understand, that's how people do it. Money game. You can excuse yourself. You really don't have to be on this live. I mean, if that's how you feel, you don't have to be on this live to even listen to hear what they have to say. So you can just take for yourself. Because the aim of this live is to educate persons so they can understand another set of Jamaicans more. So if your thing is to say dead fish, I'm sure you eat fish. That's a different thing we are talking about.
but
So
I mean in reality though, in reality, you know, they see me and I did not see them. And so they're here taking in the stars, and the stars are just listening from the crowd and the audience. And so I think the 10 seconds of attention is really up. Because where he really belongs and will be stuck in is really in the comment section. And so what he cannot do is to come on here and will be successfully accepted to come on here. And,
all right.
I'm not bothered by it, but I'm just saying that and I love how really it's happened here and that you just gave that speech, and I respect you, Dara, but that's the thing I was mentioning, right? There really isn't ultimately a safe space. It's a constant target.
This person, you realize this person is still on, despite the fact that
I'm still gorgeous. That's the thing, they have to stay on because we haven't faded yet, and we're still gorgeous, and we're still looking good and fine and perky, and they have to stay connected because the girls are live.
All right, let's get back. Let's not be sidetracked. Let's not be sidetracked. All right, let's get back to this. All right, so are you open trans in Jamaica? As in, do you do it all the time or just for like special occasions?
I have to be open because I can't walk through a closed door, and I'm living in Jamaica because I'm also, you know.
Look here, Kim. You see you're like Peppa. Come back to me.
I'm just saying, you know, and I think that's why we're on this live as well. We have been, what they say, bravely living our lives simply because we're not free. So we are open, and yeah, it's and we're also living in Jamaica too because we're not gonna lie, Dara, we're one of them queer people that you can say my love, we are trying for ourselves. Advocacy really gave us you know, the courage, and not just the courage to a space to work, which provided, you know, wealth to like improve the economic situation. But apart from that, we're poor. We're poor work for habit. And so we have to stay in Jamaica right now because we don't have the permission to travel everywhere like one of the rich people.
Yeah,
So.
don't say no more. I want to ask you a question there. That's one question I want to ask you. But before you go, so you are a trans woman and you dress as a trans woman all day, every day.
All day, every day.
How does that impact your job? Because you mentioned working. How does that work?
Paris, you want to go first? Go on, Paris, because Paris.
Talk, my mother reason. Talk. That's terrible, you know?
Okay.
I can't excite me.
Honestly, you know, it's almost now, girl, as what we call it, the battle-friendly spaces are the advocacy spaces and the spaces that will work towards dealing with our issues and trying to, you know, reduce the stigma, discrimination, the issues that we face as trans people. That's kind of like the only space that we can work and be ourselves and be able to have an identity while we're working. Everywhere else is trash. Like the mystery and say, no, you can't walk here because you're too controversial to work here. Your image doesn't suit. Your voice isn't fitting. Your gestures are just not, you know, gender or sex appropriate. And I'm too loud, and I'm too out there. And what I really am is fabulous, really, but that's what it really is, the job sector, and it makes it really difficult. Very, very difficult.
All right. Paris, you were telling us an experience you had when you were working a regular 9 to 5. Don't call the name of the company now, but just tell us about the experience that you had.
Well, the experience was a bit rough, to be honest, because I was working with a specific company for 4 years, and trust me, I got through it. But as I say, I always stand up for myself, and put myself out there and say, I am here. Just because we can't deny it in the fun of life, we can't deny it. So, it's not going to do this. As I say, so I'm with a specific company working and everything. So the people them try me, them literally try me. Them try me real. Them really try me.
What do you mean them
so
try
like,
you?
Like them come at me, throw my jacket and the rubbish bin, cut my shoes. Like them people really are trying me. They might try me for my hurt them, you know. They might try me for hurt them.
They put you
so
in different locations.
Them transfer me to a different location because they don't want to fire me. Wear one regular slippers to work is a problem. Having a jacket is a problem. All my carry myself is a problem. And bear in mind,
how did you carry yourself for it to be a problem? What was the issue they were having?
Well, like having a fur slippers is a problem. You can't wear slippers in the restaurant. Having a jacket, some at are wearing a jacket.
But Paris, where you doing a fur slippers in the people them restaurant? Seriously?
Is that regular fur slippers? Is that regular fur slippers with everybody wear the Fendi fur slippers? They're not for any, but that's extra.
So hold on. So they allow slippers. They allow slippers at that job.
Other people wear it and me wear it is a problem.
Oh, but because you wear it, it was an issue.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So tell us what happened. Continue.
So like I reported to the manager, speak to HR, like nothing I do. Says like I get a lie up on the case. I still get reimbursement for my shoes, reimbursement for my jacket. We get transfer just because I got to talk to the person from the cultural diversity lifestyle. It's an issue to the manager. So I lose customer and this and that. But I said that not have nothing to do with my person, but my day off. I have my own personal time, my own personal space. I'm not in a uniform or anything. So what the whole deal? So like everything with these are problem.
Okay.
Let me fire me, like let me try to fire me for foolishness. I'm just flexible because of my identity.
Oh, okay. So you eventually left that job or they fired you?
They fired me.
Oh.
Then fire me. Huh?
Was that your only 9 to 5 where you had an issue?
Yeah, that was my own 95 of like issue because as I said, the ear with the makeup on the side, so me always getting my money and always didn't work for Transwave. So it's like them letting me go things that that's just it for me. It's not like I'm getting like more than with me that earn their stuff. But probably going 3 day a week now and still getting enough money that women are going for a 5 day, a 6 day, a 7 day without they offer anything. So it's
Also,
like
you the hair and nails now?
just ear makeup always the ear makeup.
Oh, okay. Are you do your hair?
Yeah.
Dude. All right, Paris, we have to come up here. So let's talk about adult life now, right? Let's talk about dating scene. Do you date? Ready now? Let me go to the one Kim first. Kim, do you date only trans men, or do you date gay or bi? Who's dating scene for you?
I don't date I don't date people who identify as man. So I'm normally with like a non-binary person or effeminate person, like.
So pull up, Kim. Explain. As you telling me, explain. Remember, we don't know that here, no. Talk now.
Yeah. So I'm not with them. I don't like men. So I'm into women and people who are non-binary.
Explain that now. Explain. Okay. You don't like men. You're into women. Yeah. And when you say women, are we talking about trans women or women, cis women?
Both.
Look here, me not understand you. I mean,
both. But I'm saying I'm into both trans women and women, Dara. I'm not slurring. So I don't like guys. I don't like not always for them near man. And I like people who can say, you know, me see the man and woman I love, me just want to be myself. They don't want to act no way, they just want to be neutral and be themselves. And I like women, whether that's trans women like Paris or a woman like yourself. Woman.
You like me? You like me?
I mean, I don't really know you yet, but I could like you sometimes I don't want so. What are you, Dara?
What? So you're saying you would talk to somebody like me?
Yes.
And I'm considered a cisgender.
Right.
Okay. What about you? We soon come and see you in a Kim. What about you?
I like my mandingos.
Oh, you like your Lord have mercy. What you mean, good?
I attracted straight guys, so I would talk to a gay guy, but gay guy just all of them are the same. I guess all of them are the same, but a straight man is just different. So I'm not going to see myself I talk to a gay guy unless we probably like him like that. But like straight guy, them better to me, them better than the gay guys.
When you say straight guys, what do you mean?
Cisgender man.
That's a man born a man.
Yeah.
Whoa, brother.
Keep the same thing me I say.
What wrong?
As my friend Sunil, I said, no, my love, you have to go in like me not wait. So you love your mandingos. You only talk to straight guys. So in a female head now, that's a man who is like him go around a man. When him talk to me not understand. Explain it to me so we can understand.
Let me break it down. Come to talk around and I'm picking up now. So alright, so like me as a trans woman, right?
Yeah.
See these so-called straight guys? They don't really like the cisgender woman that much. Everybody have them little fantasy.
Oh, so straight guys don't like women like me.
They don't really like women like that, to be honest. Them just talk, they tune and talk to no. Just for nobody know about them. For nobody know about them. So really and truly, them really have fight with them sexuality. Them literally have fight. So them use weird excuse They're not gonna talk to a guy who wear male clothes. They're gonna talk to a guy who identifies as a woman wearing female clothes all the time.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. So in our world, so like me that call him, bisexual, but you call him straight.
I
Mm-hmm.
mean, not necessarily
It's
bisexual
different,
because them see it as women, but
Mm-hmm.
because them really know say we were born male, and that stigma and ideology around man and man, and no matter what we identify as still man, they hide from the fact that they truly like us, and
Mm-hmm.
they just for that reason alone, because our society stay, and so
Mm-hmm.
them just deny the fact of how we're identifying, and just go back to them real woman, them cisgender woman with for them to have sex with the vagina and all these things. But really and truly, my love, that make them feel less about we, and so them do all of them want to do it in private. Them carry down
All
all
right,
of something.
your question now, Kim. May I come back to you because you see you, Kim. You say, Paris, me the thing say, when me talk to you, I say, no, Paris just a fire, pow, pow. But Kim a fire, daga, 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 she no ramp. Kim, let me ask you something now. So you say, you talk for a cisgender person. No, remember when we talk now, if it's something that I'm going to ask that's offensive, you can't just say, Dara, me no want to answer that or
That's all
something.
right.
Right? So you say a cisgender person like me. So how would I do it now?
What do you mean, oh, that do it, Dara?
How would I do it?
Dara killed me. So I am not. So let me just say, I'm not. I just disclose it. So not that I'm not feeling weird. So I haven't done vagioplasty, which is what we call bottom surgery for trans women. So I do.
Say that again?
I haven't done vagioplasty, or what we would call bottom surgery for trans women.
Bottom surgery.
Yeah, where we really a surgical procedure.
Okay.
To be removed and have a vagina, inserted and made for us. But apart from that, I do everything. I do rope, I tie up, I play with sex toys, I do all the vibrator them, I shop well pan sex toys and all the things them. I wear sexy underwear and feather robe and look up nurses' outfits and my oka heels. And my good part, my private part of my mouth and the things them there are some of the things that that work list we can't make you feel like you want me as well. So that's how we don't do it, my love, because I'm also like, I'm open to many things in the bedroom because the door was closed. At the end of the day, my love, the door was closed. So well, if things can go on, my love will like them like her. Girl, my love,
Yes.
how are you, my dear?
Yes,
What can
sir.
we, my love?
No, you see, me just want to understand the thing, Me just want to understand what's going on. But all right, so Paris don't declare. Paris don't say Mandingo to the world. We understand that. We understand that. Kim, you say you right, Kim. So how Kim? So let's say you see somebody like me now. How you approach me?
Well, as I know, woman to woman, I can say look nice. I can say whether you ear want look nice or not. I can say have a nice ear style, because every woman wants to say something nice about them ear all the time.
Mm-hmm.
If you have your glasses, I'm going to ask you for your glasses and start the conversation. Like when you smile so bright, I'm going to ask you, where did you get your teeth done? Are those porcelain veneers? Because your information so woman knows so she look good and feel good about herself. And then make sure you know, girl, let's be friends, exchange the numbers and them something before you know me invite her for 2 drinks. Start talking to me about ask for your date. You start telling me, yes, Alex, can I have a personality, Because I'm going to sell myself well. And come on my yard and I start saying, I start taking my clothes in front of you, so I'm a sexy body, I'm a sex toys, I'm a nice things then for me to feel nice and cunt in the bedroom. You know what? Back.
Ooh.
So we're going to get the show started from this summer love, and then we're going to start a relationship, and we're going to be exclusive, and then before you know it, we love will propose. Before I go to Paris and get married and the things there. What you Dara? The good old Disney storyline.
Kill me. Kill me. Listen, I am begging. Kim. So female, cisgender women, right? You have approached them like that, and what has been their response?
Some of them end up in my bedroom. I mean, I live in one cage. I'm not rent no cage up garden. Invite them over our proper drinks, and we go out, and I've had like not at length, because I've tried talking to two cisgender women who ended up like leaving as well. Like they mismigrate. But that's usually how it's done, like normal dating, like beach and kissing, and go over house, meet family, like big something.
So you see what I'm getting from this? I'm getting from this. You and Paris, your friends, right? Paris is saying mandingo. You are saying the man thing is the woman thing to you. So that's the difference between you two.
Yeah, because Cardi B taught us, that broke boys don't deserve none, right? And
period.
Out here, so them bitter, and them not really have the cry to stop it, but them out, them love. I can't the bag talking. I love. I only have 2 years, and they're not gonna make it tired. I can't the bag talking, and then the men are them still like, them still as a woman when them want to see it as a woman, and that's just enough for me. And so I've been more affirmed with being with women, and so I've just continued to choose that.
Okay. Question now for you both. Some people have the notion that trans people are promiscuous and they have commitment issues. Is that true?
Paris? I mean, we're promiscuous, but we don't have commitment issues.
Yes. Kim, you want to answer it. Paris, let me start with you first.
Well, we don't have trust issues, to be honest. We don't have trust issues.
No, commitment issues. Them saying no promiscuous. You don't want to go here, there, and everywhere. And you don't have an issue committing and staying to one person. Do you agree?
No. We can stay to one man, of course. Once, he might play a role, have him money, and take care of my nails, do my hair, do food buy, rent pay, and them something there. Me give him 100 and stay loyal, but once you disrespect me in a play part, just know say other person can do that. But we talk truth, we are big people.
Talk truth.
What you say? What you say?
I'm not lie, my love. Let me tell you. As a woman, if you want to thing, my love, and you like it, bounce like a thing, my love, and you like it, do your thing. Do your thing. And we can't say what a promiscuous behavior, yes, because at the end of the day, my love, we can't really go back to do it as a virgin. We have to use the body and so the things that the body can do, and we can only know what the body can do through experience, right? But apart from that, the partners who are, treating us the way they're treating us and deciding us, inflicting on us to decide when they want to see us as women and fantasizing us and, hiding us because they really want to live up to societal norms. So people like cisgender woman who have the breasts of women can go road with and can, do the things them. And so they are the one with the commitment issues, not us. We just can't stick around because of that. Because at the end of the day, my love, one man wants you in one corner and tell him to take you out. I'm just not going to do that. Right?
So you aspire to have a long-term relationship?
Then the most, if you want something short term, go buy a ticket and go up yard and walk through the place and see the animals and come out through the exit gate and go on here. Yeah, that's not for me. Or go through Burger King and go on through drive-through and collect your food and go on through the exit and go on home. I can't be, but me can't really whip a question, Dara. I tell people my favorite color 4 times a year. What are you into and what's your age and can we date? I can't really pick up on a date 4 times a year. I love it. Try go on by your business, my love, because I can't really all of that, my love. One time, can we go Paris, put a ring on it, can we put the honeymoon settings, diamond and frock, and go on. Yes,
when you say Paris, you aspire to have a long-term relationship as well?
Yeah, I have a long-term relationship, of course.
That's
Come loyal, I'm faithful, And my boys them have to eat food, them have to buy food. But like credit, weed and them something there. I'm not promise the boy to buy no weed, no credit. What you call it? What else? Clothes and boot. We buy your food. We go drink, eat in the other week. Need that.
Hold on. When you say them have to buy you food and not weed, that's what you say?
I will buy them food. Food to feed them back. Them have to strong food.
But now the Paris will have come. It's a girl me for buy my joints. A man have to roll my joint, give me my love. And if a boy, because if you come through, you can only roll my joints and go. But my bad girls in my house, a man don't bad me for the roll my joint was sing and was smoke. I want to eat with food, but I agree with Paris. But if you can't work, you can't smoke. And some see my love because you cannot really smoke more than you want. But if you want to eat the good food put in your body, my love, you have to go. The kid is behaving, my love.
Okay. So back to you, Paris. Do you want to get married and have like children? Paris.
When it's me, I laugh so because my mother passed. She passed now. So of course, that is a must. My wife already. I'm gonna know it. I ring me not there, but me's a wife already. I want to have 2 kids, 2 lovely babies. Yeah.
What to you, Kim?
Not necessarily. I mean, a wedding is fun to look at, but I'm not after being one. I just need to go to the places where they're normally held so I can feel the romance. I don't think a signature on a paper is gonna make me feel that goddamn thing. But I go to Paris and book a honeymoon suite without marriage certificate, if that's what you're asking.
Naturalness at all.
And listen, when I say the whole children, you know, it's as in having that family where you have you know, well, I mean, you know, well, in our husband, wife, and children, you know, I mean, even if it's an adoption thing, do you have something? Do you ever think about something like that?
Well, for me, if adopt come in play, it comes, but I just want to have kids naturally, though.
How you do that?
We say. See me on me ban. Alright. To be honest, I see me on me ban, that's how I want it, but I don't see myself, I go do that stuff me there. I don't see myself do that stuff me there, so I have to go freeze it. I have to go freeze my
You know, Kim, you have bust out a laugh. I mean, I understand what Paris are saying now. That's the problem.
I mean, I'm actually use that sperm and impregnate one woman and have a surrogate, I guess. Paris, that's what I said?
I'm not doing sex stuff me there.
Or
I'm not doing sex stuff me there.
She's not going to make fear Jonathan go near one next woman home, but she will use the sperm and make a woman carry a child.
Oh, thank you, my translator.
Yes.
At least you're for me. You see, Paris, I work with me right in my pen drop. Hold on there. Paris, I work with All right, so my next question to you now. Seriously now, because you see what kill me tonight. Being a trans person, has that hindered you guys in any way at all? Has that hindered you in terms of maybe job, you know, however, has it hindered you?
Of course.
Yeah, it does. Okay, it made me lose my work. I know that for sure. It made me lose my work. It made me lose lots of family support. Okay, no, like, not really everybody dreams to go to college or, you know, but it kind of hinder me to do all of them because some of them.
Yeah. For me, that's the same. But actually, I lost a job to just by identifying. And not just that, after me become unemployed, it was difficult to get a job that wasn't, you know, in advocacy, because at that point, you know, I came out, and then Girl, just the everyday struggle because honestly, I lose family support, and to be honest, it put me in a position where I always I feel stand for my own. You know what I say? Like, you always have to make sure that things are going for you so you can actually have a proper life. And it's a huge setback. It's a huge setback. Like, it's a.
Do you think Jamaicans are more accepting of trans persons?
More now than before, yes. Just by generally how I could have done my business before when I was younger versus how I'm doing it now, I would say yes, in a very small but positive way, yeah.
Okay, okay. One more thing before me carrying Renee. So you know, a lot of persons, a lot of individuals have opted to migrate or to seek asylum overseas, you know, because of the situation here. Is it something that you guys would consider?
I mean, yeah. I mean, of course, if I should put safety and I say to myself, my life or stay in this country, I'm gonna choose my life and I'm gonna go. And not just that, the right to seek asylum and to go somewhere to have that freedom of movement really enforced. I support that. And so my work supports it as well and support people, you know, finding themselves to really get the courage to move on if they want to. Because they should. You shouldn't be sitting in somewhere that doesn't serve you, and I wouldn't do it. And if it comes to the push, Dara, I love me going as well because I want to live my proper life, and that's fact. And people should go and live their lives the best.
Yeah, but as I saying, but as it is now, you are okay. You are okay here.
No, I'm not all right, my lord. I only try. I only can try now. For say, I feel like this place, I feel like this very expensive rate, because of safety. I'm a fear this for something I get by. I'm a business, I feel I just say, I'm going to live for say next day, I'm going to leave for go on road. Them a bust blank man, do this man, them a suck my foot, them want to kill me. No, my love, me not alright, same way, Dara. Nobody here stop, my love, me not alright, none at all.
What about you, Paris?
Well, for me, I always see myself like traveling, not just to live, but travel. But like some of the girls, I'm get bad for someone out here, so might as well when I do get a chance, may I run, when I look back, may I run like my ear news. I go through really like the police system and the whole government thing, like them not really do nothing for me. So like one look advocate space, so what happen? What if I do for myself and wanting to support from different places. Like what else can do with the whole drama with them, man? We can't walk in peace. I literally cannot walk in peace.
Like on your driver's license and them something there. You know, any kind of national ID. How do they have you? Do they have you as male or female?
Male now, but male now.
Male, but
yeah,
you were saying
all my IDs and identification documents reflect how I was born at birth.
Okay.
Birth, sorry.
Is that something you plan to change?
Yes. Yeah,
If
but
somebody
people stop me all the time for asking me, man, I love after just a woman.
No, Kim, look here. Kim, you are talking, you're going now on different world. You are turning mouth away from the school.
I understood, Dara. I was saying, it's really embarrassing when they're asking, when how you look a certain way, and then they have to ask based on your gender markers on your ID if this is really your gender and if this is really who you are, because law enforcement and security and the keepers at the store, them checking IDs and supermarkets and stuff and bars. It's embarrassing. It's very embarrassing.
Have you had any friend who has been seriously impacted by violence? Any trans friends who trans person?
All of them. All my friends.
Yeah.
All my friends.
Kim, somebody there say if you tell them about the incident what happened at Emancipation Park. What happened?
Lord God, Paris. Are you
I mean, my incident. So Me
Or
and
what
my
happened?
one friend, remember one friend of mine, my last name and everything, and near the park, I guess, like somebody from the community, from the MSN community, literally did piss the security. So, like, him see me, and retaliate. Like, I got asked my friend to leave the park. Someone said, where you leave the park for? Like, my friend said, them ban him. Someone said, okay, I'm glad to big when them can't ban me. So, him start arguing with me and never pay him no mind, never look. Then my friend literally watch everything, watch it to security guard and run them from me and give me several economic hits non-stop. Several girl, I don't know myself, my head just, but it's like my shit doubles. Then I'm could have just do a run off, that's how they get to kill me. See that? I don't know if you've seen it though.
Oh, yeah,
I was and it goes on, nothing come outside, like literally nothing, nothing at all. I'm just can't deal with it. But the traumatized in 2019, it just happened. Could have washed my ear, could have pulled my ear, nothing come me, I feel the scar. The justice and serve, so it's like my traumatized. But right now, we just get over it and we just have to do what I have to do. If I do sin though, a different story.
but I classify you, so then you say,
I'm just
all right,
saying.
okay, wow, wow. All right, I'm gonna carry on Renee now, all right? Wow.
Okay.
No, see, I'm not gonna wait.
all right. Bring on Renee, my love. A good girl, Renee. She let me scream.
Oh, wow. So somebody's asking, Paris, did you get counseling for this? Renee,
Okay, well,
you
Huh?
first of all, Renee, them can't see you because this light over your head. So
Yes,
you
sir.
can
I'm in my house. I'm sorry. I'm in a good room, and so the girls didn't tell me that they were
Renee,
dressing up
everybody at
for
them
this,
yard.
and
Renee,
so
everybody there them yard. Everybody put a life there them yard. It's all father.
right. So I'm in my good room and such. The girls didn't tell me that they were coming out this strong on the live tonight. Alright, all of y'all come out very strong from Dara, go right back on a very unfair. But but
no,
howdy people.
it's the lighting, Renee, it's the lighting. You
This
see,
is
maybe just
horrible.
turn it
Sorry.
around a bit. If
The
I,
light
you
from
practice, and you say that's your good room, you have to turn your face to the light.
Dara, yeah, asked me to change up my entire bedroom at this moment.
Oh, yeah, Doris asking a question.
We just are with you there. All right, Renee. You see, come on, really, you see, your part is an important part. I must thank you because it's through you that I've actually met Kim and Paris. And I want to thank you for agreeing to come on the live.
No
Not a lot
problem.
of to talk about this issue. I mean, earlier we had somebody coming on and saying all kind of foolishness. Thank goodness he has left. So you're here now, and I want you to kind of just set it straight in terms of the transgender community in Jamaica and what's happening. First of all, tell me about the transgender community here. Why? Look, So Kim there beside me and Kim outdo me with the headband and everything like that. Let me try to put up myself because after Kim no
No,
more
but
than
you
me.
come out, you're nice. You could dress to a show cleavage.
Man,
Kim, she come out with fair bandana
Not sure
and
if you did
something
so.
and face well, doing earring along her Paris. She look like
Hey
one Superman.
there,
She like she
I
a
breast
come
that
from a
with
fashion
Paris.
show. Wanna come out very
Hey,
Let's
strong.
say.
I breast that Paris.
Yes, the woman have
Mm-hmm.
breasts.
Good put brace. Good put brace.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Breast?
what?
Like when you
Yes,
have anything, sisters, the prostituted,
yes,
real thing, and a
right.
balloon, and a water, and a condom breast.
You realize that
Mm-hmm.
Paris breast up more than my own?
As it should be. Mines are the
No,
same
The
as
woman,
no.
a
it
young,
should
young,
be
young,
because
young
we're in the
woman.
process of transitioning. So it should be. Right? As it should be.
That kills me. Really? Tell me
Right.
about Jamaica's transgender community.
Well, the community has always been here.
And of course, even when we talk about like LGBT activism and human rights in general, like the trans people have been at the forefront, particularly trans women, right? And this is not just in Jamaica; this is across the globe. Like in Stonewall, it was trans women of color who started the movement and were the leaders of the movement. Even though trans people, since time and again, have never actually been given the recognition for like a lot of these movements, right? And so in Jamaica, it's the same. Trans people have always been at the forefront. It's just that we've never actually been given what was due. And of course, people had different names for us back then as well. There was a time when people just thought that we were men in wigs, or we were, people who did drag, or we were just drag queens, which is not the case.
But interesting that you mentioned that. Because I just want to get this out of the way right away. You have a set of a set of, you call them drag queens. And I want you to tell me, how would you classify them in terms of, are they a member of the trans community? The guys in the gully who dress like females.
Okay,
Are
the
those
gully queens, right?
transgender, or they're drag queens? How do you?
Some are members of the trans community. Some identify as women, yes. Some aren't. Some are drag queens, meaning that they identify as men, but they dress in women's attire for performances or for shows, or just for the sake of it, which is the difference, right? So there's a difference between someone who's a drag queen and someone who's from the trans community. Because you're transgender because your gender identity does not coincide with the sex that you were assigned at birth, right?
So somebody as a cross-dresser.
Cross-dresser, that's a different thing as well. So cross-dressers are men who like to wear women's clothing. For whatever reason, whether it's a fetish, or it makes them feel empowered, or it's for dealing with certain personal issues, but it has nothing to do with their gender identity or their sexual orientation. Because fun fact, a lot of men who cross-dress are actually cisgendered and heterosexual, right? And
all right, so Renee, pull up with Renee. So you're bringing some terminologies where, I want everybody to understand.
Right.
So first of all, cisgender would be somebody like me. I was born and assigned the female,
right,
and I'm as a female.
Right. And you identify as a woman. Right.
And I identify as a woman.
Right.
And then a transgender woman, explain who that is.
So a transgender woman is someone who was assigned male at birth, but identifies as a woman, right? And so because we don't identify with the sex that we're assigned at birth, it means that we're trans, right? And so the opposite of a trans person is a cisgendered person, right? So if you identify with the sex that you were assigned at birth, then you're a cisgendered person, right?
Okay.
And of course, I think it's important that people know as well that there's a difference between your gender identity and your sexual orientation, right? And so both help to make up who you are, but one does not decide the other. And so it's clear, because I'm happy both Kim and Paris are here, because as you can see, Kim is what we would consider not what we consider is a lesbian woman, even though she considers herself more so pansexual, but she really doesn't like men, and really, so that's the tea. And so she is a lesbian woman, as opposed to Paris, who's a heterosexual woman, right? Because she's attracted to men. And so similarly to cisgender people, where you can have a multiplicity of sexual orientations, it's the same for trans people, right?
But why would you call Kim a lesbian woman? Because Kim and I were talking. Watch Kim face. Kim and I were talking, and we said, Kim, so if me and you talk now, what would happen? And Kim said, everything. So how would that? Explain it for me.
Well, I mean, it's still not change the fact that she's still a one lesbian, because she's a woman who likes another woman and who wants to be in a long-lasting, loving relationship with another woman and do all type of nasty, freaky stuff to that woman. She's a lesbian.
Okay.
Right. In fact, there's a fun saying too that's going around now to help with the spread of of education and stuff. Some women have penises. Get over it. Right. And I mean, even if she does like does bottom surgery, she's still gonna be into women. There are strap-ons. There are different other forms of toys that I'm sure she'll use, which she's very versed on already. So
Wait, it comes, all right, okay. It comes like the good old Kim resume. Yeah, all
I'm
right.
just saying.
All right. So interesting that you mentioned the bottom surgery. Because at first when we say bottom surgery, but then I realized it's bottom surgery as in down there in
Right.
terms of penis, vagina kind of thing. In the Jamaican context, do you have a lot of transgender person opting to do the bottom surgery?
Of course, mind you, most persons migrate um to do that, and they usually don't come back.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, a lot of people do transition in those ways. Some people choose not to. I know some people who choose to do top surgery, which is the breast augmentation, and not do bottom surgery, while you have many others who just do everything. Um, go ahead. You had a question.
How Paris have more breasts than me?
She's on HRTs. She's on hormones. Right, and
Oh,
of course, it also so it's genetics, right? So I'm also on hormones. My breasts are actually bigger than Paris's, and that's because of my family
Show
bigger
it.
than
genetics.
me?
Yes, they're
Your breast
bigger.
Show it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna
It's big to
show.
show
That's
it.
the face off,
Big to
and that's
show
our
it.
full cover. But I mean, it's because of family genetics as well. So like, women in my
Yeah.
family have larger breasts. So of course, when I started HRTs and now that I'm transitioning, it also means that my breasts will be bigger. And the same is for Paris. The women in Paris's family have voluptuous breasts, so of course hers will get to that specific level as well.
How long does it take for the change to start, for you to start seeing the change as soon as an HRV's hormone, then what is it again?
Hormone replacement therapy.
HRT.
Hormone replacement therapy.
Right.
How long after you started to do the hormone replacement therapy you start to see the results?
About 6 months into starting, I started to notice like the changes. Like my body started to feminize around that time.
Mm-hmm.
Face got rounder.
See?
Breasts started to grow. I started to lose like definitions like in my upper body. I started to gain a little bit more on my lower body. And I think Paris would be the same. Paris has been on HRTs longer than I have actually. And so I've been on them for about a year, and I think Paris is over a year. Isn't that right, Paris?
2 hairs.
2 years, right? And I've been on it for like a year.
Would
And so
it
usually
change your voice?
it won't. It won't change our voice, but there's a surgery for that. It's called. Oh Lord.
Africa.
It's where they actually shave down our vocal cords, and so there's a specific surgery for it, as well as people usually do speech therapy to learn how to speak in a higher pitch.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. I was asking Paris and Kim this, right?
Right.
Yeah, no.
And he said, but Kim face, Kim ring light are going, you know, it's just like, fuck Kim face, you see?
I just want to mention that my mother here said I must call her name, so I'm going to do it. Big up Leonie from wherever she live. Hi, Leonie. Hi, Mom. Continue now, Dara.
Tell me more about the community now. So we were talking about the cisgender, we were talking about the transgender woman and the transgender man, and then you have agender.
You have well, there's a lot of the spectrum is wide, right? I don't want to confuse people, so I'm not gonna state like every type of transgender person that exists. But the most prominent, members that you find are trans men, trans women, people who also identify as non-binary or as gender fluid, right?
Tell me what that.
So non-binary means that you don't identify with being either man or woman. And gender fluid means that you're able to identify or to identify or to, what's the term? Express, right, as either man or woman, right? You can go in between, right? And that's gender fluid. So you're able to flow from one end of the spectrum to the other. And non-binary people, they're not on the spectrum at all.
Okay. All right. So let's not what does top and bottom mean? I heard it before. Somebody asking that question.
Oh, that's something between gay men, and that really just means who gives and who takes. That's really
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Guys, thank you. I mean, if you have questions, that you want to ask, and remember now, me not gonna have all of the questions. So please just ask the questions and I will throw it out to them. What are you? Somebody's asking, what are you? Are you talking about Renee?
Oh, me? Sure, I can. Well, I mean,
I can't answer the answer.
Well, the question should really be how I
Really?
identify.
Renee, hold on. Kima distract me.
I mean, it would have been what in terms of like, would it be? No, I'm saying in terms of what would it be like? Of all the genders that we were talking about, they're asking exactly how.
Thank you, Shanae. Shanae.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm not gender fluid. I'm actually trans feminine. So it means so right. So those are some other things within the community as well. Some people don't identify as any of those that I mentioned before, and some people identify as either trans feminine or trans masculine. And that means that I identify more with feminine pronouns or more leaning more towards the side of trans woman, but not exactly. Because while, I'm okay with being called she and her, I am not okay with being called he and him, but I would prefer they, them pronouns. Right?
All right, so somebody, you see this question? Can we address gender
dysphoria
and how it's dealt with?
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, gender dysphoria is the reason why trans people transition. And so the higher our gender dysphoria is the more likely we will do surgeries to correct it. So because I'm gender dysphoric, I'm going to be transitioning fully, right? And so gender dysphoria means that there's a disconnect between how you see yourself and how your body actually looks, right? So I see myself as a woman, but my body still has male features. And so therefore, I'm going to do surgeries to correct that so that how I see myself matches up with my body, or my body matches up with how I see myself.
Oh, so like for the ladies and the plastic surgery,
yes.
you're going to do that?
Yes.
Oh, you know what money? That's a lot of money.
It is extremely expensive. I don't even want to tell you how expensive it is. I think the most cost effective parts of the process are your hormones. That's the cheapest thing, and also the easiest thing to get access to. Like one of my surgeries alone is around like 5,000 USD, 5 or 6,000 USD for one. Yes, and so like now I'm in the process of working on like my finances to do my first surgery. And then so I have to decide if it's going to be like breast augmentation or if I'm going to do the curves and the hips and the butt first. And so I have to decide which one first and then wait maybe another year or two to save up more money to do the other sets of surgeries.
Okay, because somebody just asked, where do you guys get so much money? So I caught Renee saying she has to save.
That's a fallacy. No, I don't know who tell you that, but I hear it too. People assume that trans people have it. We don't. I can say like we poor. Best believe we poor. We don't have it. We don't. I mean, let me not say poor because it's in real cases we are privileged. But we're privileged because of the work that we do. And as an employer, I do my best to ensure that my staff are compensated fairly for the amount of work that they do, and especially because they are the public faces of the community. It's because of them that trans issues are even where it is in Jamaica. And so I have to ensure that, they can take care of themselves. And unfortunately, that means that they can only live in certain places, they can only shop in certain places, and they can only really live and exist in certain spaces in Jamaica. And so I have to ensure, as their boss, that they can be able to live and thrive in the country, you know, that they're working so hard to change and improve for the entirety of the community that as it is right now, right?
Kim, don't say you don't have to change anything, Kim. Kim, those bro, they say you don't have to change anything. So I must tell you guys that Renee is the executive director for Transwave Jamaica. So Renee is speaking in, while I have Kim and Paris talking about their experience, Renee is giving me the overall thing about the trans community in Jamaica. Just to let you know that. Renee, back to this surgery thing, because some people have it in their midst that trans men are some ugly man dress up as drag. You ever hear that one there?
Oh no, I will even see it in the media as well. Like Clovis have some images of trans women out there that is so terrible. And I don't know, like you see Kim and Paris, you could see some of the other members like Imani, or even myself when we put on our good clothes and we step out. Better looking than we can't find. And a lot of facts on facts. Right? And so, like, when I see some of, like, these images and stuff, I find it very unfair. And even how trans people are generally painted in the media, we're painted as thieves and as criminals who, you know, aren't making any significant contributions to our country, and that's not the case. You know, like, I've represented Jamaica many times and in many spaces. And, you know, a lot of us are working very hard. We're homeowners. Kim is a homeowner, right? She has her own house. And she's worked and she bought that on her own. You know, Paris is hardworking as well, and she's always trying her best, you know, to uplift herself. Like at school, other people have finished their degrees and are working in spaces to improve, you know, where we live and who we are. And so, you know, when you have these types of images, and even like the reasons, like people don't just get up and steal and rob, and so we have to understand that as well. Like we are going through it. Like the members of the community are going through it. People are put out of their homes from as early as 10 and 12. People have been living on the streets for most of their lives, and they have to find ways to survive. And sometimes that is sex work. And in doing that, that opens them up to all types of different things. And sometimes it means that they have to revert to, you know, doing criminal acts. And then people will say, oh, why don't they get a job? They can't, because they've been out on the street since 11. They have no form of education whatsoever. They can't read, they can't write, they can't take care of themselves. And so they have to revert to other things. And it's so sad, because the truth is, for many members of the community who even migrate, that's the last thing they wanted to do. You know, it would be so good if we could be in Jamaica, live in Jamaica, have access to the same opportunities and everything, so that we can live and thrive, because that's all we want to do. We want to be able to work and to take care of ourselves and to, you know, take care of our families. And, you know, people just make that so hard for us to do.
Because that's where I wanted to go next, you know. I mean, so we basically kind of look into the community through the eyes of Kim and Paris, right? But where do we go from here? So, I mean, you basically want to set the record straight that trans people are just like anybody else in Jamaica. Who no one live, who no one just be free in Jamaica, right? And we're not talking about just people, as you call them, gully boys. Trans is to every kind of uptown, downtown, downtown, right?
I'm sorry.
You hear me?
Could you repeat that for me, please? I'm sorry. I was looking at Miss Leonie. I distracted. Miss Leonie, it's so good that you're on the live. Thank you. Big up yourself. Repeat the question. I'm sorry, I didn't hear. Repeat the question.
Oh, yeah, I'm just saying that you are here now tonight. So we talk about, we basically experience the trans community through Paris and Kim talking about their experience. And you're now here as for the umbrella and everything to say that trans, I mean, you people, you want to live, you want to be just like anybody else in Jamaica. And it's not just a downtown thing or an uptown thing, it's an everywhere thing.
Right.
Members of your community your community is from all over, right?
No, from all over. I mean, some of us come from the ghettos. Some of us come from uptown. Some of us are all over. I'm from St. Anne. I was born and raised in St. Anne. I only came to Kingston for school, and I just never left. But I'm a country girl, right? And all of us, we've all struggled, and we've all tried our best to make it. And there was a point where I thought even I wouldn't make it, right? I've been homeless. I've been, on the streets. I've been attacked. I've been hurt. But somehow I've managed to survive and to make it. And we're all here just trying to work to make things better, not just for our community, but for like our country. Because Jamaica is a big space, and we want to be able to thrive here. And we want everybody to thrive here, but everybody isn't given the same opportunities to do so.
Right, and that's where I'm going on. How can everybody thrive in Jamaica land we love?
There's so much that needs to change first before that can happen. Like our laws and our legislation need to, improve and also be changed. We've had some of these laws for like over 100 years, which makes no sense, right? And even the countries that we got some of these archaic laws from, they've already, made amendments and changes. So what are we holding on to, right? That's the question. We need more laws in place that actually protect people, right? And have those laws ensure that people can be protected irrespective of their gender identity or sexual orientation. And so that is why anti-discrimination legislation is so important. Like, I'm even thinking maybe anti-hate speech as well is also important. But maybe we're not there yet in terms of having those types of legislation, but who knows? Hopefully we are. We do need gender recognition legislation, so trans people can be able to affirm their identities on their legal documents, and so that it's a lot easier for us to survive. Because imagine me like the Renee of now, and my legal name before was Dunny, and so like seeing me coming, my legal name before was Dunny, my dead name before was Dunny, and so imagine me now, because I have to renew like my passport and everything now with the change in name and everything. So that means pictures have to be retaken and stuff. And so me going now in my full face of makeup and my heels and everything, and then they're looking at the old thing, and they were like, the old thing which was a bearded, darker person, and now looking at this person who looks a lot more feminine and in heels and beard things, and so all the excitement that would cause, and so training staff members and people for those different things around how to handle or to deal with members of the community.
So you have done the thing in terms of making it official, in terms of changes.
Right. Well, it's not finished, but I've started. The process is almost complete to have my name legally changed.
Okay, how was that process for you though, in terms of not just your name, but to have your the gender recognition?
Well, I mean, it's anybody can change their name, so that's it.
Okay.
It's very easy. It's very easy to change your name. All you need is to fill out the form.
Wait, Paris. Paris, I play it, I mean, I hear everything.
I'm sorry.
Right.
Yeah, that's Paris.
It's fairly easy. It's fairly easy for anybody to change their name. You just need to fill out the form, get a JP to sign it, and you pay like the money to do it. So it's really is easy. The challenge comes when you have to change your name on your other legal documents. So like on your birth certificate and on your passport and your IDs, that's where the challenge comes in.
Okay.
And for some reason, people keep asking, like when you're doing it, they're like, why you want to change your name, why you're choosing that name, wasn't your name before feminine, so what's the problem now? Which I don't know why that matters so much. I want to change my name, I must know what my reason for changing my name, so it shouldn't be a problem. But I mean, apart from that, the process was seamless, really.
Alright, so is there anything else you want to tell me, Renee? Because I want to open it up now for persons to ask questions. I mean, because as I said, I don't know everything. I may not be thinking about it right now. It's an opportunity to start a conversation, because as part of getting persons to understand trans people more, you're doing advocacy, right? You're doing
Right.
public education
Right,
and
we do.
to get the information out there. Kim and Paris, I hope I'm not boring you because persons may have questions for you as well.
Mhm.
So guys, if you have questions, now is the time to just throw it in so we can get some. And please be respectful in whatever you're asking, and please also just understand that if the question you ask it offends any of the persons, just understand that they may not answer. All right. So Elton has one. Do you think a special police commission is needed to handle such challenges of violence and stuff? So he's asking if some special police commission needs to be in place to handle violence against trans people.
I don't think so. I think what needs to happen is greater sensitization of the police officers that are already in the force and ensuring, that the different mechanisms that are in place to ensure that the police do their jobs. They just need to make sure that they do their job, and that also means protecting trans people and carrying out investigations around different things that are affecting the trans community that we report. And so if we come in and we say that we were assaulted and we're reporting it, they need to take it seriously and they need to act on it, because we're humans first and we're Jamaicans second, right? And so irrespective of us being a part of the trans community or not, we're still Jamaicans and we're still afforded those rights and liberties under the Jamaica Constitution and under our different legal frameworks that exist. And so if we report a case of somebody attacking us, you have a responsibility as a police to do your job and carry out the investigations and act accordingly based on that. So that's how we
Okay, so I have some questions. Kim, somebody say I love Kim. So they're asking, have you ever, and this is for everybody now, have you ever been in love and have your heart broken?
Yeah.
Boy.
Yes, my love.
Let me ask,
What?
wait, Kim, hold on. Let me ask Paris first. Let me get Paris into this. Paris.
Well, no. It's a no.
Eh?
It's no. No.
No?
No.
You've never been in love?
I've been like I love persons, but like sometimes I'm show the true self afterwards. So like many I always have to go back and front and can't do the back and front business. So I'm really like a love thing. Make it
Hey,
real.
Paris, serious enough. You should start so nice that you're not ramp, You're very serious. So you've never experienced the love thing.
Most of them manipulative. Them love manipulate the girls. Them I can't work with that. Them say you're alone, them say them love you, and them don't want you. Them say that girl. Can't work with that. Someone up them.
But you are cute. All right.
them
So, Renee, let me go to you.
Men are trash. So let me just, so that's the first thing. Men are trash, right? So to answer your question, yes, many a times because men are trash. But it is what it is.
So Renee, are you a lesbian?
I am not. I'm very much heterosexual. I like men, but still, men are, so let me clarify. I like what men have, but I don't like men. If I can say that.
No, Kim kill me. Kim kill me. Renee,
Me,
Paris.
Dara, are you a kid with you?
You are kill me.
No, Dara.
Paris,
Yeah.
I'm asking if you're dating someone, Paris. Are you dating now?
You put them on the spot today. Well, I'm gonna be honest. But the person probably I watch a live right on the live. I can't get the problem. The person probably on the live now.
Don't say nothing else. Don't say nothing else.
Murder.
Kim,
Okay, Paris,
Kim,
we heard you understand.
Kim, them say you very extra.
I mean, this is just this is not
Elton,
about you.
don't do that, Elton. Right? Let's clarify. Right? All I want to know, say, and all I want to trash, fine. Right? But collectively, men as a species are trash, right? Y'all have no respect for women. You have some of y'all have no respect for your partners, and y'all do things that make us call y'all trash, right? If you know use a good one, use a good one. And you just know that in yourself and you done this stuff. But men are trash, right? And if you could really separate what them have from them, would I do that too? But you know, dildo can't work every time. But I'll edit it.
Kim, have you ever been in love?
Yeah, you know properly? You break up or something with the question?
Kim, have you ever been in love? Have you ever had your heart broken?
Yeah, and yeah, hear me properly, right?
Where you keep
Yes.
answering the woman question?
I mean, yeah, Captain, almost 30, of course. I mean, come on. I mean, yeah, but I at the same time too, I haven't been through like any nasty breakups. I guess that's like the plus side. Like where my happy, like never reconcile. I'm not having to ever speak to the person again. No, I haven't been through all of that. But I've been in love, and I've had my heart broken, and I've tried again. I'm trying now too. And I'm gonna see how this one goes. Yeah.
Okay. Let me see the next question now. They were not expecting these questions. Me
We
know.
weren't.
Me know else I have to ask them though. I have to ask them. So don't just send on the questions because I'm there right now. So Kim, Paris, and Renee have to answer them. So
I can't take
have to
it.
answer them. So what do you guys do for fun?
Oh, what don't we do for fun? I mean, we hang out a lot. Like our chill spot is Chilitos. Like I'm there at least maybe twice a week.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even today I was burning it down. I
What
at Chilitos.
Renee? What Kim? What Kim?
I'm just answering the fun question.
Miss illegal number there, but yes, but they do that. So they smoke and they drink and such. I go to Chilitos and I drink and I have a vibe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's why you did talk about the weed, Kim. That's why you said you can't buy weed.
Because at the same time too, it's not just weed. If you can't afford to have fun,
Going out is a thing for us, right? And so my belief say, if you're a man, right? I mean, I say man, fine. If you're a partner and you want to come out with us, we're not gonna say that we're not gonna pay maybe a 1 and 2 time, but it can't be every time something. Work must keep. And right, and also we're not of this notion that men have to mind women, right? Because it's 2021 and we do believe in equality, but equality has to also show in the pocket as well. So if you're gonna come out with us, you need to be able to pay something. Like how we do it is that if we go out, this time I'll pay the tab, the next time Kim will pay the tab, the other time Paris may pay. You need to be able to take up a tab, right, at any given point. And so that's the thing. We do go out, we go out a lot. Kim will take me to Kaya because she thinks I need to have that weed experience, which was fun and fabulous, by the way, sister. And so she always believes that we should go out and go to different spaces and have different types of, of opportunities to see where we live. And so we do that often. Sometimes we just get up and we're in Portland for no reason.
Good.
So
So another question. What do you love best about being a trans woman? To each of you.
I'll let Kim and Paris go first.
really quickly for me, it's just that finally get to live a life that I was forced not to live, although I've always felt this way. And so being a trans woman for me, it's like I'm finally now at like my authentic self because I did not want to. I wish I wasn't assigned me at birth, and so it kind of makes me feel more powerful and, you know, positively dominant and confident. And it's very empowering for me to openly identify the way how I identify.
Hi.
Well, for me, it's just being visible, being out there, just living the truth that I always want to live, and opening doors for the next generation, educate and motivate others about being themselves, no matter what, just be you. Yeah.
Renee?
I don't know. For me, I just see myself as a person, as a, you know, as a woman. And you know, to me, I think there's nothing better than being a woman. I think women are the best thing since sliced bread. And I'm just happy that I'm able to be a part of the amazingness that is woman and womanness and womanhood. Yeah.
Somebody asked this earlier. I know so Kim and Paris answered it in terms of the relationship with their family. Where Kim and Paris, they said that for the most part their immediate family, they're good, but you know they've had a few, well, Kim said she's not as for the father, you're not in a, you don't have a good relationship with your
That's for
father right
Paris.
now.
I said
Paris,
that.
or Paris, and you are saying that you have a good relationship with your parents, Kim.
Yes.
And what about you, Renee? What is it like? Because in terms of the relationship with your family.
Uh well, I mean, I've only really ever had my mother and my brother. And my mother was super supportive when she was alive. She passed away back in 2017. Um, she was my biggest supporter, my biggest everything. Um, and so now I just have my older brother, and he has always been there. And surprisingly enough, like I thought he would have been the one to disown me, and instead it was quite the opposite. He got more overprotective actually. And so he's still very much super super supportive of me and who I am, and what I do.
Hmm. What is your ideal date in Jamaica? Like, let's say somebody said they might carry up on a date. Let me just say, me see people are fishing at the group already, and I ask about Kim and I ask about Paris. You know, are you to Renee? Me realize they might send out the little waiting, and then me realize something going. Me see them might send the message to the things, right? What is your ideal date in Jamaica? Like, where would you want to go? What would you want to do?
I'm a homebody, so I'm actually very much okay if we do a chill at the house, we cook and we chill, watch a movie, and vibe. I'm also okay with going to a nice restaurant, right? I mean, I believe in a KFC and then because somebody said that's what people think is a date. That's not it for me. Let's go to a nice restaurant and have like a 2 or 3 course meal, and we'll have like a good chat, and then go to a bar somewhere and then go home. That's okay with me.
Paris?
Well, for me, like going out, I love hotel, I love the environment, ambience, and such. But like a regular dating for me is like going out to a bar or a restaurant, just intimate.
Oh, but if they want to step it up, no, them carry go to the hotel.
Yeah,
Hey, Kim. One for you, Kim.
I mean, I like to retreat, and yeah, we like, as Renee said, just retreat in like mountainous spaces, in the country, like you know, St. Anne and Portland and Blue Mountains. Yeah,
Oh
and
my
just
God.
enjoy nature with my puppy and my
No
partner and my
KFC.
dogs. And some joy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I need.
Kim, when you say enjoy nature with your puppy, your
And,
partner,
and my dolls.
and your dolls?
As in my dolls. DOLLS. My girls.
That's what she
Oh,
calls us, her dolls. Yeah.
let me just say, so you going on nature with Dolly, puppy and partner? Listen,
No, the dolls are, two of the dolls are on this line right now. It's Paris and Renee. They're my dolls, my Barbies.
okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. You see, you need to explain something to me now.
Yeah, that's right.
There's this question. Do you approach, if you see somebody that you're interested in, or do you approach like single men, women, or married men, women?
All the time.
Me all the time. Which one, married or single?
Single. I don't approach people with ring on their finger unless I'm complimenting the ring. I might say nice ring, but that's as far as it goes because it's there for some reason. I don't need to know the reason because first of all, I'm Jamaican, Christian dominant. When I see a ring that shines, whether it's fake or real on the finger there, I just culture to stay far. Or some bad and some grow, right? Some of the one if a popcorn bag come from, or it come from a Pandora box or a Tiffany box, but I want to know my love. I see it, I might compliment it, but I don't approach married people at all.
What about you, Paris?
Well, they approach me, of course. I don't need to approach anybody. They approach me. Just by seeing me. Sometimes their face is a strict quality for them. Their faces.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so they approach me a lot. Really, I'm married, single, taken, anything. We work with it.
So
And chat on me.
you find a lot of straight men, married men approaching you.
Yeah.
And I
But
don't know. Are you hearing Paris? Me not hear her.
She
then I
said
hear
yes.
Mr.
She said
Ray.
yes, I heard her.
Oh, so when that happens, Paris, where you go? Run them?
9:53, let's go my train.
No, I'm entertain them, girl.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
I entertain them.
10 story now one girl, sorry come to mom, talk with your good mouth.
I entertain them. Entertain them. We go out, we go restaurants, we go bar, people look on the 2 away. I care. Work my work. I work my work. That's the truth. I work my work.
Oh, work, yeah, work. Yeah, sorry, excuse me.
Don't string the attach right. That's how I'm working. You're married, have your wife, to go home to your wife. You got my business. You live alone? No, I don't live alone. I said, no, I live alone. You can't come to my yard. That's rule number one. You cannot come to my house.
But now I'm a little
You come by me.
Renee, oi.
Sorry, Paris, that killed me. So I'm similar to Paris. I don't approach people. They approach me. I don't approach people. And so they usually find a way to get into my DMs. And like I think especially since I started affirming, more people have started to like approach me in certain ways. And it's usually a mix. It's usually even women. So even women up to today, like a woman approached me online, which I actually told her I'll think about it, and I am thinking about it.
What do you mean?
Share it.
What do you mean? What woman approached you online? Tell me about that.
I mean, yeah, she asked if she understood that, I'm hetero, but she was saying if I've ever thought about being with a woman and if I would maybe be interested in like a relationship with a woman. And so I told her I have thought about it, which I have because men are trash. And so, I said, we'll see, we can have a conversation. So we're having conversation.
Wow.
But right, married men I don't entertain at all. But usually, like I said, with a lot of these guys, they don't tell you that they are married or in relationships, even when you ask, because for a lot of them, it's about the fetish. They're fetishizing us, and it's not necessarily because they want anything else. They just want to have sex with us, and that's it. They want to live out their fantasy, and then that's it. Right? But to me, I don't want to disrespect anybody's relationship, so I always ask the questions, and I have a ton of people on like a block list. I keep blocking daily on all forms of apps.
You keep, because you know, Paris said that to me, that she has to block people and she has to vet the people who run in our DM all the time daily, right, Paris? And it's the same thing for you, Renee, Kim.
It's the same thing for me. There's like
Really?
my block
Every
list
day.
is because they come with you with the most inappropriate. Like I was like, you don't go to cis women with this, even though it turns out that they do go to cis women with this. Like they come in your DMs. It's a nude, unsolicited, unasked for. They start to video call you nonstop. They harass you. Like it's ridiculous. And like I was asking like a few of my cisgendered friends, women, if that's their experience, or is it just because like I'm a trans woman and people are trying to fetishize me. But then it turns out it's really just that issue that women face in general. Like men just feel like it's okay for them to do these things because they're men and because we're women and they're the ones with you know the so-called power that they have. And so it's the same. And so like my block list keeps growing and it will forever keep growing.
Wow. Have you ladies, so this question, have you ladies ever gone home to meet like meet a family? Like, so, somebody take you and say, hey, I want to meet my
straight family, no.
No.
Yeah.
Where you say, Paris?
For me, say yes.
You have?
Yeah. But it wasn't something that I want.
Yeah, and stop. So, cause when you say yeah, we stop and I wait for you the rest.
You know, I love the drama though. As a girl, there's so much I can literally write a book. So as I say, growing up and everything, fame, Lamlet was a place and renting. So I remember when many specific guys text my phone and talk and we decided to meet and stuff. So like I made out first time going to Windward Road, first time and during my Windward Road a bad place. I go every time we did little and neat in school days, little and shots and neat. No only person ever wear female clothes back in the day. So it's like it did new to Jamaica. Nobody never really know. So it's like I pass to the boy and I talk to him mother on phone. I'm a pass to him mother, so I say, alright. So me think that I could probably pass to other people to the family. But I guess it never did work out because just my mother and everything and like, oh, him did find out now. I went one of them in an offer tree and like one man will like make me understand what me. Run me down, me tell you, run me down. The man I remember in the offer just told me I take out things that I fling up and and excitement. And the boy I couldn't believe it's like it's not like that him alone come and him and him friend come. And like him friend was like, I want to just go on. And then at the time when I do it, like me I talk to him, my next friend I talk to the other boy. So it's like he must say, but she real. So that means she says like the boy could deal with it until him just go him just migrate and could deal with it. Him mother know me, most of them family know me. So like him could deal with that pressure.
So you never tell him that you're a trans woman?
No, I never tell him nothing, never tell me just a trick him, me a trick him.
So you pick regular, you're regular stuff.
Regular Spanish Town, she start. Spanish Town, that was the deadest moment of my life. So back in the day, I go to school, I was a Martin. I never play with Spanish Town and I never play doing something. So I remember one day I go there and like, I go meet this boy. One dead $100 in $100 in my name. Take the bus from 3 miles. Then the man let me on the ferry and said, drop the gun at Spanish Town for me. Bear in mind, 9 men in the bus. And I would make it. 9 months in the boat. Oh, mate. So we reach Spanish Town now, right? So I think a LOJ Plaza, right? It's not. And then I go March Pen Road. You're in mind? March Pen Road. But they and like the guy said, I'm not in a fear for me. Just go on. I'm say, alright, so like one girl look for me, one girl look for me. The man or woman, you know me, hear the drama and I start dropping my I speak. Them time she better just come out. She better just come out and say, I'm on the borderline, I'm not pay them no man. I walk from March Pen Road. The boy calm now. Someone say, yeah, same so we are going to say my girl so. So the taxi man must say, Lord, Slimmers, Ray and T and Blake. So by the time you show the one way Spanish Town, it's for the taste this day. When you show the one way Spanish Town, taste them start hide because they say, alright, this looks serious. The boy come from and say, no, so we're going to kill you if you're a man patrol. Because the girl and the boy, like the girl probably know a man when you say a man, and the boy probably girly and know. So it's like them used to bust on the gal back in the day. So it's like I'm start a fruit, God, I'm start a fruit and credit done, please calm me down, come in up, calm me tax and everything, and like, I'm in an office with gun, my shake, iron, all type of things, I'm there right, I don't want to this not hide. And I strip down to me and Kate, them put on something different, I'm in a normal start first to God, walk past them and them and go in the taxi. And try to talk to them, said, don't make me get up until we reach out 6 mile arm in a Kingston. But don't get up and start talking to the man and I realize I talk to the man as a man. So the man I say, I want to start speaking to wife with me and this and that. And I'm going to start being dramatic, ask some money. Maybe I don't start so much money from Spanish to become a Kingston, 2,500. I'm going to get it from, girl, like really true.
You living dangerously, but you have been living dangerously because first of all, you gonna bring the road. Then you gonna
I'll Sherlock Marich. You get a Sherlock drama. The specific things are like Sherlock. What's it up over here? Sherlock. You know Sherlock?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Top people got Sherlock and stuff. So this man always pick me up from Limelight side and drop me and realize that alright, every time I go here, I not get nothing. So it's like him plan for me now. But then you know like the bed come over me, naked, I push me. I said, no, I'm not talking about it. Because back in the days, if you had double job at school days, them burn you out. Them class, the milk never come out yet. At least I never come out yet, and them people never come out yet to them tape and stuff. So it's like, when come to me, I said, no, you're crazy, but can't them something, can't them something. So let the man pan. Drop me the yard, come out the yard, stand out the car to go drive out. I go put lock over the grill. I said, don't lock the grill. I said, why not lock the grill? I said, don't lock the grill. It's like my dead now the man. Me and the man start kiss. So we start kiss. Yes, when we start kiss, the mighty now, the hard on my clothes. Literally hard. When a man comes and feel, you know, like some man kiss and feel front. Some man kiss and feel front and them stuff there. And the man comes some, I'm gonna run out, same time I'm pull the grill and run out. I'm a frightened, literally frightened, tell me I go to school. Literally frightened. When we just at Donny Park now, Donny Park School, and the out on the main, on Boulevard, and we can't stop. How far I go, Mr. Mega, what's up? The man bring me a Red Bridge. I say, mother, kill them, kill me right or so. And I saw the man just drop me right on my yard.
No, you don't learn.
I'm just go in the bed, left and go to school. I go to school with lash, with glue on my lash, twisting on my ear. Yeah, we go through all of the excitement.
No, you're dangerous, man.
I know me I start them stuff there. Remember, I go people down and I tell the people who want me is people have me in a house and them stuff there. When I run
so Paris, you never know that would have happened because if you first of all,
I never know because my mirror,
Paris, you start kissing. You know, say from the whole kissing start, you're gonna get turned on. You never know, so that I'm worse. The man never know.
Never know, girl. Never know. As I say, this did I fool them. Just this, I go fool them. Let me know what the write a song. Just this.
This is not.
You know, we can't do nothing around for
It's not.
don't do that dangerous living there,
Yeah,
please. Yeah?
me I go about my,
But I like
I'm
5
going
years
about
from
my
now.
business. Me I go about my business and you stop me. I'm never want to stop, so I'm stop with you. Cause you know, when you have money in your yard, I have other girls, so you come pick me up. I'll go my business, me I'll go about party, me I come from here, pick me up and after me, right? So I'm going to a car. Car argument start until reach a yard. We expect. Cause when I look into myself, we really got the money yard for. We really got me yard for true. We're girls got money yard for. No must want something. I mean, I have it for game. So what am I gonna do? I must run out. I couldn't stay there.
Sorry.
I couldn't stay with after run. You see my mirror? You see my mirror on my yard? Never failed me yet. My
You
mirror. I
see,
make my
Dara,
mirror happy.
Dara, if I can, that's what I want. Just articulate. You see, the thing is,
Not lie.
trans women are attractive, right? As you can clearly see, right? And so, when a man realizes that they are attracted to a trans woman, and then they, they realize within them when the homophobia and the something and the culture that we've embedded in men that live in Jamaica lick them and them feel like say, oh, their reputation is gonna be ruined now because oh my god, they're attracted to a trans woman. They retaliate a certain way, right? But also it is remiss on on trans women, of course, it's not remiss on us, right? That we have to also be careful, right? Because then we also have to take into context that we still live where we live, and it's not the safest space. So no, I see people in the comments talking about trick. No, she didn't trick him at all, because our business shall go, and I him stop and pick her up, right? But then the problem is, and who knows how he would have reacted either way. But the point is that these things happen. You're walking on the street, you look like many times. I'm on the road and I'm just walking in my heels and my way, and men will pass and they will say things, and then they instantly realize that I'm trans. I same with Kim or with any of us. They instantly realize that we're trans. It's almost as if we did this great injustice apart from us just existing and being who we are. Like you're the one who stopped you're the one who stopped and started to give compliments and sometimes when I think I pay them the mind. You'd walk them out. You would say you're not interested. You would move and go all the way across the other room, and they still walk you down. They still try to hold on to you. They still, like I've had, people hold on to me, trying to get me to go into spaces with them. And like, even when I say I am not a cis woman, I'm trans, and I explain it, because that's the first thing for me, I'm going to tell you, right? And I explain it, it's still the same. Oh, okay, me know, I'm not care. That works now, but definitely I have to try it now. As if I'm an object, and I'm just supposed to go because you say go. It's as if I'm no longer a person, if you get what I'm trying to say. And so, I mean, these are some of like our real experiences. And probably if Paris never go with him, he would have probably get out of car and attack her. Because I've seen that happen to cis women as well, where men beat them up just because they turn them down. And it's the same types of things that we have to be wary and afraid of. And even more so, because the instant them realize that it's a trans woman them attracted to, it's a more judgment. And so we have to take all of this into context. And so that's why for us, it really is fetishism. And so that's why for us in particular, like, especially my girls, I tell them if they have to go anywhere, we have taxis that we can take. We have community-friendly, spaces that we can go. Those are the areas that I need you all to go. These are the drivers that I need you all to go with, right? If we can't, if we're not, and most of us will be driving soon by the grace of God. If we can't go together, if you can't use these particular people, stay home. Because I'd much prefer us to have like a boring night than for me to be dressed to go to your funeral the next day or the next week.
Speaking of funerals, have you ever had a member of the community being killed because, like an example, like what Paris just said?
Of course, like one of our closest friends good as Jackie. She died. Like, she was shot
Too
25
bad.
times. And we know, and the worst thing is, it was a guy that she was talking to. At least because the last conversation, we spoke to her the day before she died. Because we all had like a family group. And she was sharing with us that she was talking with this guy and she was gonna go to his house. And she even showed us like some of the messages. They were talking for a while. The person who she went with was talking to her for over a month and tricked her and got her to finally show, because she wasn't gonna go to his house, right? And if they talked to her over a month, get her to go wherever I live, and the next day we found out that she was killed. And so it's those types of things, you know, being wary of who wants to talk to you, recognizing that they can be one of two things. One, they just want to have sex with you, or two, they want to kill you. And so that's the reality that we have to work with. And really, we just try to live, and sometimes we just really try to mind our business. And we're just trying to go about our business, and people just show up and, you know, these things happen.
Paris, who do you look up to? Who do you admire?
A lot of person though. Like, alright, I'll start with local persons. So like, for instance, Nish McLean. He's a trans man and he literally motivated me to like start the process and everything, like just to see how a trans man out here is living. Some is alright, he's a trans man, we must can do it. And I admire Renee because like she's a good leader. She know how to like do her thing and stuff. She kind of space. She know for sure that she's there. And Kim have that too as well. You know, in space. She can take over the room and say she's here. So like, look up to people who we know we can learn from and get a little thing from.
What about you, Kim?
Yeah, I think all the persons who I look up to are in my group now. So Mix, Imani, you know, Renee, Paris, Shauna, yeah, the team who I work with, just generally because surprisingly those who I'm working with are those who are, when I really business how small it is, and them really empower me and say, girl, in some small way, girl, go and be yourself now, come do this, come do that. And as you can see, not just talking, but actually making the provisions for me to challenge what I need to challenge and make a living. Because that's important. You know, bread, yeah, my love. Come and tell you one slice of bread, I want the whole loaf now. My love, I love a girl. But it comes down to, you know, I have to be able to be ready to make an honest living and be prompt when I'm called for duty. And so Translate is that space for me. And yeah, we work with Renee and Paris. As Paris has said, I'm Paris direct supervisor. Renee, it's 2 steps above me because at the company I'm the outreach manager. And it's kind of like, I found my space socially and that shifted into my professional space, and it still works out because the folks are the same folks, and every day, I just, as Renee said, it don't really matter what the subject is. If I time to go out, we're gonna foot the bill because that's not how it works. And most importantly, in terms of like how we live, each of we have shared our space with the same folks who I just mentioned. You all at one point lived together, stayed in the same house together, slept, bathed in the same bathroom together, and we have prayed together because each of we, I think, will lean more towards Christianity, and we pray together, and we kind of, whenever things aren't working out or whenever things are working out, we celebrate and we make sure that we support each other, and those are really my folks. And then I have my parents, and
so that's your support system.
yeah, those are my folks.
What about you, Renee?
I mean, I think my team inspires me the most. Kim and Paris, they live authentically as themselves. And I appreciate that, and they've helped me to affirm who I am even more. How you see them is how they are, and that's how they go everywhere. That's how they present. And I appreciate that, right? And that now that I'm talking about, I just want to, address a few comments that I'm seeing. Like, nobody tricks anyone, right? At least from us, nobody tricks anybody, really.
Tilt your phone a little bit,
Oh,
Renee.
sorry.
Yes.
So we're not
Mm.
we're not tricking anyone, right? The fact is, we go out. It's not our fault you're attracted to us. We didn't tell you to come over to us and
This
to
guy to the
give
lady, you know.
compliments. You made that choice, right? And when you're giving us the compliments, we're gonna take it because you're saying nice things about us. You're telling us that we look good, and for us, that's something that we want to hear. We want to hear that we look good, right? I know for me in particular, like I'm very upfront on all my profiles. It says that I'm a trans woman in every situation. Even if somebody comes over, mind you, I will get very uncomfortable when guys start giving me compliments. But the first thing I say is I'm a trans person, and for some reason that still doesn't deter people at
Oh,
all.
you declare it, and that still doesn't stop them.
It does, because but the fact is they're attracted to the fact that they see me as a woman, and that's something that is fine, right? You see me as a woman, I identify as a woman, and so I appreciate that you're affirming who I am, right? Don't hate me because you like what you're seeing or because you like me. That's not my fault, right? And that's not even your fault. You like what you like, and there's nothing wrong with it. I think we need to get out of this conception as if there's this competition too between cis women and trans women. Like, all women are beautiful, all women deserve respect,
Really?
all
There's a
women
competition?
deserve love. No, I mean, some cis women have a problem with trans women because they think, you know, it's us trying to trick people, or it's us trying to
Oh,
take their men, or it's, and truth is that's not what we're here about at all. And in fact, more than likely, especially the women on this specific panel, even when they hear Paris say she'll entertain whatever, the truth is she's the same one who will say to them, but aren't you married? Don't you have a girlfriend? As soon as she hears it, right? And so they'll come, and she'll probably entertain the sadness a few times, and then she'll ask the different questions. And then when they say, oh, I have a woman, or I have a baby mother, the thing go, she like, well, friend, me can't talk to you. I mean, I've been in the same space and here tell men, oh, but if you have a girlfriend, me and you can't talk, I'm not them some there. Because the truth is, we're all women, and we respect each other, and respect other women, and respect other women's relationship. And you're not going to cheat with us on your woman that you have at home, especially if you're married with kids. That doesn't work for us, and that's not a thing that we practice or believe in.
all
And
right. So
so,
I have a few more minutes left, and I just want to run through some of these questions. This question is from, oh Lord, yeah, I saw Kim and friends at Chilipas, and I've heard from other Jamaicans that it's a very queer friendly space. What other places are like that? Any of you?
um, well, maybe Haven. Haven. I think Haven is a friendly space. Um, Kim would know more. What's the other one that I always go to, Kim?
The
Um,
pub,
the pub, right? I always go
crew,
there too. It's a
tea
nice
So
place to
bad.
tree,
chill. Tea tree is fabulous.
cafe
Their
You know
blue.
what
staff
I'm
is
doing?
so friendly.
Hold on, now that I'm thinking about it, maybe if they want more information on those things, they should reach out to
At
Transwave.
Transwave JA on all social media platforms. That's
Yeah.
TransWaveJA. All social media platforms, the DMs are opened, and we are available to answer these questions on trans friendly spaces if you need to.
Right.
If you need assistance to navigate and traverse, so just hit us up.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
There's
So
a
Again,
I
at
would
few,
want
Transwave
right.
JA, yeah.
Right. And you can go on our
to
website
your
as
safe
well.
space.
Right.
Those are your safe space.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't want, because you can put it out there, people know decide to go and get in there. So
Yeah.
as I say, who need information, they can always, in terms of places where they can hang out, they can always reach out to Transwave and get all of that information, right?
And if you want a direct link, it's transwaveja.org. That's org.
Right.
And under the resources tab, you will find a list of trans-friendly spaces, from healthcare to social spaces, that we would recommend, that the staff is ready to assist you in a very friendly manner.
Right. And I will say too to the people on the live as well, like even if we're saying it here and stuff, it's the responsibility is also on you as well to help to make these spaces safe for trans people and for other people, and to make other spaces safe as well. And you do that by, if you see people harassing trans people when they're in spaces, talk up about it. Tell them it's not okay to do it, you know, and defend trans people. If you see anybody being hurt or wronged in any particular way, it's okay to tell your friend that it's not okay to say these, you know, disparaging thing about trans people or other members of the LGBT community, because we also have to help to meet the change that we all want to see.
Somebody has some noise on it. That was the noise there. All right, 2 more questions quickly. This one says, does violence towards the trans community come from their own community or outside their community?
Outside of our community. Like, I think trans people, we stick together, right? Where I will say though, when I say outside of the trans community, that's where we do get most of our, you know, our pushbacks, which also includes like the LGBT community. And so we get it from both ends, really. We get it from straight
Really?
people, yes, especially gay men. But
Hold
yes,
on. You know, say, are you Paris? Are you Minister Luke? Are you something nice around the gun?
Sorry.
mute
Just
it,
a
No,
friend.
toddler.
I'm sorry. Me just not here. Renee so well. But Renee, what do you mean? I thought you guys worked as one.
The trans community, yes, and we do have allies from like the other members of the LGBT community. But you know, we get it from both ends. Cishet people give it to us. Gay men in particular give it to us. Yeah, gay men really don't like trans people, or especially
Really?
trans women, and it's a thing, and they make it known. Yes. So there's that. That happens.
You see, I mean, I never know them something, you know, because to be very honest with you, pardon my ignorance, but you know, when you see a trans man, you say, oh, is a gay man. Until I started to do my research. And of course, that's a misconception that a lot of people will have. Because they see you as trans, they say, okay, you're gay, or XYZ, when that's not the case. Listen, Renee, you need to start putting out information so people can understand your community more. We need to start doing more live. We need to start engaging people. They
Oh no,
have,
we
and
do now. We've actually started. In fact, we have a live every Friday. You
Mhm.
can on our different social media platforms. I go live from, you know, mine, which is Renee_Green1. Kim goes live from hers, and we also go live from Transwave's main page. We talk about different issues from housing to transphobia within the community to even talking about like movies that we like and different things. And so we go live every week. We
oh,
have different information sessions coming up soon, as well as we'll be putting out different materials so people can have access to. So we're here, and so just follow us on the different pages. It's Transwave JA across all platforms.
Yeah.
We go live on all platforms at the same time, which is every
yeah.
Friday at 3 p.m.
Okay, so as I wrap up, I'm allowing each of you an opportunity. You know, you have persons on the live now. What would you want to say to them, or what would you want to leave with them as we wrap up this live? I'll start off with Paris.
I would just say, just be you, live your truth to the best you can. Love yourself first, and just be safe. Just be safe in whatever you're doing. And don't tell anybody that, don't make anybody tell that you can't do it. Or you can't be yourself. You can be yourself. And just be safe while you're doing it.
Renee?
I just want to say to the people on the live, one, thank you for listening to us. Thank you for being open enough to have the conversation with us and to hear where we're coming from and who we really are as people, and what we really want, but not just for ourselves, but for Jamaica on a whole. And I just want to say that you can also help to make a difference. If it's even just by standing up for a trans person who is talked about in a particular way by transphobic people, or when you see transphobia happening, being the one to step in and to protect or to defend, because that's also useful and helpful. And to also just to take what you've learned from this moment and share it with people around you, share it with their friends and with their family, so that the change can start from there. Because the truth is, we're not asking for a lot. We're just asking for people to respect us and for treat us and to treat us as how they would want to be treated.
Kim?
I mean, Renee gave the thanks, and Paris gave the word of encouragement. So I'll just end by saying we made some announcement of the platforms. Personally at Kim Savage, Kim_Savage, that's KYYM, and Renee, that's Renee_Green1. In terms of our live that we do every day, every week, every Friday at 3 p.m. But not just that. As Renee would say, people participating. Yeah, it's time to have these conversations because it's also time to stop the violence against transgender folks. It's time to just stop the violence in general, and we should have more conversation because clearly a lot of what's happening in the transgender community is just a misconception of what people really have it at. Like it's really a different story when you hear it from folks. But we just want to confirm that our experiences are still real, and we do exist. And so you can reach out to us. You can use us as resources, because really that's what our everyday work calls for, and we are ready to answer our call for duty. And again, thanks for everyone who actually came to not just give a word of compliment, but ask genuine questions because they really wanted to genuinely know about our experience and our ways of living here in Jamaica. And I'm never like that, I never really know your stuff until you do one like me see up on TV growing up because as a poor girl I never have cable as a girl, but I see you.
No, look here, nobody say that. Don't say so. No, can you immediately don't own me up. Don't own me up, Kim.
You're not going to do it, Alright, you're going to get through. You're not on CNN and them something on BBC, the TVG I say the fan. But now if I use, and back to the story now, as we say, but never have cable answer, so I see you. But it's actually good to know that a woman, like, you know, I not like when I have a status and a woman really who is in her profession, you know, at the peak of her profession is really using her platform to have these conversations and enable, like, the dialogue of what's happening here. You know, everybody laugh now because it's all comedy, it's all a good time. This was actually really wonderful. And so I can't tell you enough, Dara. I don't know if it's Miss or Mrs. Smith.
Miss.
Miss. It's Miss Smith. I thank you so much, darling.
Kim, it's Miss.
Girl, you know me love it. Never ask for love, you listen to me, man. Never ask for love. Miss Smith. Thank you so much for the laugh, and you know, when the time comes to answer the serious questions, we were there, But again, thank you for inviting us, and thank you for, you know, upholding your end of the bargain and actually keep the live and put on and having the conversation, and again, enabling this dialogue. And yeah, we, you know, enough love from our end. You know,
Dara,
from
use our
people
good
and
eyes.
girl, from the LGBT community, from a trans girl,
Thanks
from
for
a
having me,
the queer and bashing girls. Then enough love, Dara. I'm gonna say Peaches, she don't stop commenting and saying, I have a promoter over here, so I love them. Say, to see this and other episodes live with Dara, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. So big up Dara on the YouTube channel.
Yes,
So
you must go follow
Dara,
me.
that's Live with Dara on YouTube, and at TransWebJA on YouTube. Go ahead, like, watch two videos, subscribe, because support goes a long way. In a not at daytime, just watch one video. I love coming. I know sometime in the board and yeah, you know, it's tell the truth. So go ahead, check out those videos, and again, Dara, Paris, Renee,
So
keep
about
safe, girl.
myself.
Until we see you guys again. Enough love.
Guys, can you imagine? Tonight, man, I really enjoyed the conversation. I'm not lie. And I also like the fact that persons within the live, they were very respectful. They were there to learn. Because at the end of the day, you know, what we want is that people leave here knowing something different, knowing something new. And I'm hoping that that's a takeaway from it. I mean, you know, listen, whenever I appreciate it. I appreciate the fact that you go all out. Look at you, Kim. Look at Paris. Only Renee alone never really do the
Yeah, but
work.
I appreciate it at all. When you tell me something, I put on my good frock and back up my face a little bit and a very
Really, I'm
outside.
wearing my apple, Marina, and
Running
not
that
dressing.
we're right now, that bed.
Yeah, I can't be bed, but feel like
I'm in
after
dressing.
this mode, I got my bed.
You know,
Renee thought that we will all show up in 90s, like we will just be relaxed and calm.
Why? I can't take it to no bitter. Dara in a nice something with a nice breast them and show. Paris a show cleavage to and makeup well do up. Kim has it's very unfair, it's not okay at all. I mean, I appreciate this. You understand? And I would be writing a formal complaint somewhere about this kind of okay.
somewhere. Guys, thank you so much. You hear big up on yourself. Thank you all for coming on.
Keep
I
safe,
really
fellas.
appreciate it. All right, take care.
Take care, ladies.
Bye bye.
Bye. Yeah. So that's it in terms of the live tonight. Let me just end it. Okay. Let me take it off. Yeah, me know you try. Me know if we take it off, you know, Paris. Let me see.
I try.
Okay, me remove. Me press remove. No. Why not come off, Paris? It come like
It can't come off from my end.
it come like it no want it come off at all.
I have to come off.
Oh. Okay. Yeah. I really enjoyed that conversation with Kim, Paris, and Renee. It was really awesome talking to you. Learn, you see, this is the thing, you know. Yeah, if you don't have the conversation, you won't know. You won't know, and when you don't know, ignorance is a bitch. You know, ignorance is a bitch. So I want to thank you all who were here, all of you who joined me at the start or joined me in the middle, and you're here at the end. Thank you so much for being a part of Live with Dara tonight. If you want to see this episode again, of course, I'll save it to IG. It will be up for about an hour or so, and then I will transfer it over to my YouTube channel, Live with Dara. They're gonna subscribe. No, go on over there, go give me a subscribe, please and thanks. Yeah, man. So you can watch it there as well, Live with Dara. Just go and subscribe, like, share, comment, you know, and see you next week when we shall have another interesting discussion about some lifestyle issues, where we connect lifestyle issues with products and services right here on Live with Dara. So until then, take care, have a safe night, whatever you're doing, have fun. Angela, you want part 2? Well, let's see. If there's someone else, there's always something for us to discuss. Elton, listen, thank you. You know, I have you as a resource person. You are here helping me with some of the questions. So, guys, thank you all so much. And see you next week again when we go live.